It is 6:32. Hard to get everybody.
Roy. Hey, how are you? Are you back fresh from travel?
We want to just play like a little shot on the left and we'll be working it out.
Yeah. What key do you what do you sing that in?
Or maybe we'll start from the beginning.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh. We'll catch up. You gonna be here tomorrow? Okay. Maybe you can give me a couple of highlights.
Shabbat Shalom. For those on live stream, thank you for your patience. We are trying to get the people in from schmoozing and eating the delicious
must have
food.
made some excellent pre-neg food tonight that's keeping people out.
Right? Can't get enough. Let's begin with our Hine Matov on page 10, but really it's on your song sheet. Get out your song sheet, Hine Matov. Let's greet one another with joy. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבר אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבר אחים גם יחד. Again. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבר אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב Umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. Repeat after me. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is.
To be together on this day. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is.
To be together on this day. Shalom Aleichem. Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is.
To be together on this day. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is.
To be together on this day. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבר אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבר אחים גם יחד. שבר אחים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. And look what I found sitting up here on the bima, none other than Natanel Koyo, or Koyo. I always got the accent wrong. On the, is that a djembe? On a djembe. Yes, awesome. Nice to have you here along with Billy and your mom, Cantor Koyo, as we welcome Shabbat together on a special Shabbat of comfort. So if you don't yet feel better than when you first walked in here, give us about 29 minutes and 59 minutes and you will. So let's continue now as we join together in our songs for Kabbalat Shabbat, Lachuna Ranana, page 12.
And so as we warm up our spirits, our hearts with these psalms tonight, we elicit the joy of being together, the joy of community, the joy of making music together. And so these words, let us sing out to God. Lechuna ranana la'Adonai, nariya leto yisheinu. Lechuna ranana la'Adonai, nariya leto yisheinu. Nekadma panav betoda bizmirot nariya lo. נקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו. לכו נרננה לאדוני, נריע לצור אישנו. לכו נרננה לאדוני, נריע לצור אישנו. נקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו. נקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו. כי אל גדול אדוני, ומלך גדול, הכל אלוהים. כי אל גדול אדוני, ומלך גדול, הכל אלוהים. לכו נרננה לאדוני, נריע לצור אישנו. לכו נרננה לאדוני, נריע לצור אישנו. נקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו. נקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו.
We continue welcoming Shabbat with Lecha Dodi, beginning on page 20, verses 1, 2, 5, and 9.
Yalla la 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 lecha dodi, yalla la 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 lekrakala, yalla la 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 pnei Shabbat, pnei Shabbat nekabel, yalla la 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 lecha dodi, yalla la 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 lekrakala, hada la 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 pnei Shabbat. פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשמו תפארת ולתהילה. יאי די די ינננני לך דודי, הרננני לקרקלה, הרננני פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקרקלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרקלה, פני שבת נקבלה. עלייך נגלה, לך דודי לקרקלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרקלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, Ham segula boikala lecha dodi likrakala penei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrakala penei Shabbat nekabela.
You may be seated. We continue with first candles and then Kiddush. We invite Emily Friedman, her son Brian, her grandson Nicholas to join us for the lighting of the Shabbat candles. And then Gabriel and Daniela for Kiddush following. We are on page 2.
And as we prepare to see the beautiful light, we're reminded of creation, of the first flicker of love and light and hope that ignited this world and all in it. And so let's take a deep breath in and sing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. And with those words,
Amen.
yeah. With those beautiful words, we welcome in Shabbat into this space. And now, Baruch atah Adonai, page 5, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri haga'afen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. B'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki yom tehila lemikra'e kodesh zecher letziyat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta Mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
We love when we have B'nai Mitzvah families here and they're lighting candles and singing Kiddush, but it's also wonderful when we have members of the community who are just here for Shabbat to remember, joining us. We are continuing as we turn to page 28 for the Baruch Hu. If you're comfortable to do so, please rise.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yada-da-da-da, yada-da-da-da, yada-da-da-da. Yada-da-da-da, 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 yada-da-da-da. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed Le'olam va'ed Yadadai 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 I'm going to ask everyone to do something a little different than we normally do, and to take a seat and take out your song sheet. We're going to spend some time preparing for the Shema tonight. We often lose out on this message. It's called in Hebrew Ahava Rabbah or Ahavat Olam, depending if you're in the morning or the evening. And it talks about unending, everlasting, infinite love. And this song, called We Are Loved, on your song sheet, is about connecting to that love and all the different ways that we can connect to that love. And we're going to use our voices and our hearts to crack open a little bit and to let ourselves be soothed and comforted, as the rabbi said was the goal. I feel like we're at 29 minutes. And we could start using that comfort now and to just tap into that. We are embraced. Join with me. We are embraced by arms that find us, even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we are too embittered to hear. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. Let me hear you. We are loved. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us, even when we are too weak for meeting. 'Cause we are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. Say it like you mean it now. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. Let's put it together. Embrace, touch, soothe, and counseled. Ours are the arms, the fingers, and the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. And I want you to think now, close your eyes for a moment as we prepare for the Shema. Taking a deep breath in. What is that unending love for you? What comes in the form of that comfort, that support, that which picks you up when you have fallen down? What is that love? And we're going to connect to that love with the words of the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. The words of the Ve'ahavta now. We join together, page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol me'odecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha veshinantam levanecha vedibarta bam beshivtecha bevetecha uvlechtecha vaderech uvshochbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayu letotafot bein einecha Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uviisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim leloechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim Li'yo lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Emet.
We turn to page 39 in the English rendering of Emet ve'emunah, one of the prayers after the Ve'ahavta. If we looked in our Torah, which we are going to this is the Shabbat where we have actually words from our prayer book and words in our Torah portion. The Shema and Ve'ahavta are found there, and some of the other sections of the Ve'ahavta, which we don't have at this point in our book. But this part we do. So page 39, we join responsibly in English. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. On your song sheet for Mi Chamocha.
Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you? Page 40. Adonai. Yananai, 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 yananai. Hilo
Page 43, my favorite rendering of the Hashkivenu. And I used to say that's like the middle school. It's great for middle schoolers and high schoolers. But, you know, now that I have grown children, it doesn't matter. It's still the same. The Walking with Good Companions. Please join me at the top of page 43. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim.
On your song sheet, we offer this prayer of comfort. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, ve'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim, ufros aleinu, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
We think of our prayer and we say, pray as if everything depended on God, and act as if everything depended on you. If you're comfortable, please rise for the tefillah beginning on page 46.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Ve'konei Hakol Ve'zocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Le'ma'an Shemo B'Ahava Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia Morid Hatal Mechakel Chayim Bechesed Chaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim Noflim Verofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Baal Gevurot Umido Melach מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue with our silent prayers. We may use the prayers in our Siddur through page 60 or prayers of your own heart.
On the bottom of page 62, we pray for peace. Oh, say shalom. Bimroma. Oh, say shalom. Bimroma. Uyase, 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 shalom. Uyase, 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 shalom. Say shalom aleinu. 1, 2, 3. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom. Beam Rama. Oh, say shalom. Beam Rama. Huya, say shalom. Huya, say shalom. Huya, say shalom. Aleinu. 1, 2, 3, 4. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down, bring peace down. Rabbi Aklepi, I was visiting someone in the hospital yesterday, and they were talking about how they're watching the services on live stream, but the melodies are very different than the ones they grew up with. And I was thinking of this Oseh Shalom in particular, and I said to them, I bet you, for you, the traditional Oseh Shalom is the Oseh Shalom, right? Bimromav. And she said, yes, that's the traditional one. And I said, did you know that was written in the 1960s? It's like that Oseh Shalom is a baby shalom, right? That's not the traditional ancient Oseh Shalom. And it's because communal singing, this idea of communal singing is a relatively new innovation in Judaism. So what people think are the traditional ones are actually newer melodies written.
Yes.
All of them.
True, all true.
Fun fact.
So, Nathaniel, I know you know how to play that djembe, but the real test is, can you pick it up and carry it back to your mother's office? Are you strong enough to do that? Yes, excellent. Well, I have a physical therapist who always reminds me to breathe. To breathe while I'm exercising and stretching. He says, you have to breathe. That's the way the muscles need oxygen, blah, blah, blah. And it's similar to the way I remind my B'nai Mitzvah students that when they come to the end of a sentence, they pause. And when they take a breath of air, the air has to go in and out. Sometimes it goes in and they keep it there. Sometimes it goes out and they forget to take some more in. But, we go in and out because a deep breath can help refocus and center us. A deep breath can relieve some anger and some stress, and importantly, help us move forward. This Shabbat is Shabbat Nachamu, the Shabbat of comfort, and it's like a deep breath. It helps us recover and move forward. Comfort. Nachamu is like an exhale. The name is taken from the first word of this week's Haftarah, which contains words of comfort from the prophet Isaiah to Israel. Isaiah explains Jerusalem will be redeemed following her destruction and the people's exile. She has, as it were, done her time. Shabbat Nachamu is the Shabbat following Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av, in which we commemorate the destruction of both temples in Jerusalem in 586 BCE and 70 CE, as well as many other tragedies that befell our people, including the expulsion from Spain in 1492. Since my husband likes numbers, he bets if he looks at history and finds good dates, there are good things that also happened on Tisha B'Av, but our commemoration are those destructions, those exiles, the loss of our sovereign land. And the Talmud gives the reason for the destruction of the second temple as sinat chinam. Sometimes we were translated as baseless hatred, senseless hatred. In Talmud Yoma 9b, we read that baseless hatred is equivalent to the 3 severe transgressions that require exile off the land: idol worship, forbidden sexual relations, and bloodshed. But really, if you think of the things that you may hate or the people, I don't even like to use the word, is your hatred senseless? We hate for a reason, don't we? Ilana Steinhain from the Shalom Harmon Institute shared this teaching from the sages, and it focuses on Leviticus 19:18, where we read, you should not hate your brother, your kin in your heart, but rebuke your kin and incur no guilt because of him. What does this mean? It means tell your kin out loud. Don't keep your hatred in your heart. And the rabbis say, wait a second, if you just tell the person that you hate them for whatever reason, that's not a sin. Of course, that's also a sin. But when we rebuke them, and in the correct way, when we share what they've done wrong or how we are hurt, well then, there's a chance for repair. This week, the Israeli Knesset voted to remove the reasonableness clause from the Supreme Court, and therefore the court will no longer have the authority to overturn legislation that it deems unreasonable. It eliminates, basically, the balance of power between the government and the judicial. For many, this vote, taking place 2 days before Tisha B'Av, brought immediacy to this day of mourning. What does it mean to be a people where we're not living in a democracy. And Israelis mourned the eroding of their democracy. There's a sense of disorientation and alienation that threatens the glue that holds the Jewish people together. And so Yeshayahu, Isaiah, called, Nachamu, Nachamu, Yomar Elohechem, comfort, oh comfort my people, says your God. Our friends in Israel tell us that there is comfort walking with tens and thousands of other Israelis in protest. And yet others have told me that when they walk down the street carrying their Israeli flag home from a protest, cars have stopped and yelled and cursed at them out the window, carrying an Israeli flag in Israel. It's disorienting, to say the least, to realize that a country that pulls together when threatened from the outside is now threatened from the power within. One of my rabbinic colleagues posted a question to our Israeli colleagues on the CCAR Facebook page, the Central Conference of American Rabbis Facebook page, and he asked, what do you want us to say to our congregations this week about Israel? And the responses came pouring in. The first response from Rabbi Chaim Shalom. Don't you love that name, Chaim Shalom? Life and peace, great name. He says, I want you to talk about hope. I want you to talk about love. Rabbi Rinat Safania wrote, as you know, our country is burning. It is sad and difficult afternoon here. Yet the protests brought many indifferent people out from their homes to show how important their country is to them and how unwilling they are to give up on democracy. And Rabbi Liora Ezrahi Vered said, echoed by many others, this is not the end. It's a pit we can climb out of like Yosef, like all who are struggling. Like all who are struggling, she writes, we need friendship and solidarity more than ever. Do not despair, another rabbi said. Be leaders in dialogue. Our Israeli Reform rabbis protest, teach, and lead. These are actions not only inspired by Torah, but demanded by Torah. This week's Torah portion, Va'et Hanan, is sort of like a cliff notes on the foundational principles of Judaism. Parshat Va'et Hanan contains the giving of the Torah and the Ten Commandments, the Shema, and the V'ahavta. These are the statutes, the laws, and commandments that are the antidote to baseless, senseless hatred. And these are the laws, the statutes, the blueprints for justice, love, and hope. You shall love your Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And Rashi explains, when we fulfill God's commands out of love, that's the way we're supposed to fulfill them, out of love. For one who acts out of love is not like one who acts out of fear. For he who serves his master out of fear, and when the master becomes too unbearable, well, he'll just leave and go away. Loving God with all your heart means you are on the same page as God. There is no division, and you are not holding back. Now, of all people, Maimonides, the scientist of the sages, describes loving God as one should be lovesick for God, enraptured, obsessed. But one can only love God according to their knowledge of God. And how do we get that knowledge? One should learn the skills and science that reveals God's nature to them. The more you know of this world, the miraculous, the beautiful, the good, as well as the bad and the ugly, the more you can love God. And so the more you understand that God demands justice, and you stand and fight for justice, the more you are enraptured for God. And the more you understand the miraculous creation of the earth and you work to heal and protect the earth, the more you are a lover of God. The more you understand that God is compassionate, and the more compassion you show to others, well, the more that you love God. And the more you understand God is a giver of peace, And the more that you become a person who makes peace and creates dialogue, you may become lovesick for God. And when you teach these commandments to others by doing them and modeling them, and they follow your lead, the more you love God. Can you fall in love with God by fulfilling these mitzvot? We've had a troubling week in the Jewish world, watching the struggle of our brothers and sisters in Israel and mourning the losses suffered by our ancestors and our recent ancestors. Take a deep breath. Refocus on love and hope. In ancient times and not so ancient times, and today, the words of the prophet Yeshayahu, Isaiah, resonate with us still. Nachamu, nachamu, ami, yomar Elohechem. Comfort, oh comfort my people, says your God. And this Shabbat, we will be comforted, and we will not despair, and we will have hope. Ken Yeratzon. May this be God's will for us. Amen. Bringing others into our thoughts with a Misha Berach for healing, letting others know, many who are watching us from hospitals, from home, who know that they benefit from the good feelings they get of knowing that we are caring about them, with our words even caring for them. If you have loved ones you would like to mention now and share their names for prayers of healing, please raise your hand. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Shelley? We ask God to grant compassion and wisdom to all of the physicians and caregivers who are caring for our loved ones, fortitude, perseverance for all those who are fighting addictions or living in a world of abuse. Baruch atah Adonai rofeh cholim. Blessed are you, Adonai, and may you heal the sick. Amen.
Repeat after me. Dear God of our ancestors,
Dear God of our ancestors,
help us renew our faith.
help us renew our faith.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Bring peace to all our days.
Bring peace to all our days.
And rifana lanu. The words that Moses cried out for his sister. Restore our strength of body.
Restore our strength of body.
Help clarify our minds.
Help clarify our minds.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Rejuvenate our light.
Rejuvenate our life.
And rifana lanu. And now with gratitude we sing, thank you for all these blessings.
Thank you for all these blessings.
Throughout the day and night,
Throughout the day and night,
we celebrate our journey.
we celebrate our journey.
This precious gift of life.
This precious gift of life.
And rifana lanu. God, heal us God, heal her. God, heal him. God, heal all of us. And
We turn to page 282 for the Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו כהמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. During the week, we spent time for a communal morning, and now, even though we're here as a community, we think of our own loved ones, those whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we've brought into our own hearts as our own. On this Erev Shabbat, we send condolences to the families of Sandra Sandy Kramer and Evelyn Axler. On this Erev Shabbat, we say Kaddish for Marjorie Sarah Leader Harris Goldstein and Barry Goodman. When you hear your loved one's name, please rise. We're thinking of those who have passed in the last 30 days. Donald Walsh, Dr. Leonard Zimmerman. Our congregation is thinking fondly of those who have passed during this last year. Judy Agron, Chaim Aklepi, Lillian Berman, Ayusia Perelman Bernstein, Charlotte Globsky Brody, Arthur Farkas, Florence Farkas, Linda Frankel, Mitchell Mitch Friedman, Jocelyn Jeroff, Judith Gilbert Gould, Andrew Gross, Dr. Martin Glazer, Dr. Henry Irwin Glick, Jennifer Gross, Joseph Harvest, Dr. Jeffrey Hertz, Evan Foster Higgins, Ruth LaShaw, Janice Levy, Phyllis Lieberman, Lawrence Larry Parker, Eric Polk, Karen Michelle Solomon, Debbie Sandberg, Michael Schellist, Susan D. Score, Tanya Stern, Bela Malka, Marcia Weinstein, Gershon Spencer, Zvika Golod, Simon Shankar. We think of those who have passed at this season in years past. Claire Ackman, Rose Edelman, Samuel W. Alpert, Stephen Arkey, Cheryl Braverman Arnold, Bernard Bailoff, Susanna Baru, Emmanuel Becker, David Kenneth Berkowitz, Gertrude Garber Burnett, Benjamin Blazer, Sydney M. Bleeker, Shirley Buxbaum, Ela Brotman, Isaac Camber, Sanford Kaplan, Evelyn Klein, Anna Cohen, Ruth Y. Cohen, Charles Cohen, Helen Dushani, Pauline Ellenbogen, Frida Grunin Feinberg, Ray Fisher, Francis Foreman, Minnie Friedman, Paul D. Friedman, Sabeto Garazzi, Dr. Kenneth Garber, Samuel Geller, Esther Glazer, Stanley J. Goldsand, William Marks Goldstein, Robert J. Goldstein, Norma Goodman, Charles Green, Gerald Jerry Green, Ronnie Bogayev Greenstein, Daniel Harris, Dr. Richard J. Helfman, Betty G. Hellman, Estelle Hoffman, Ann C. Jacobs, Julius Jaffe, Goldie S. Kaplan, Rose Cohen Kaplan, Benedict A. Kerr, Pearl Kimmel, J. J. Klein, Rita S. Koenig, Eleanor Konigsberg, Ava Chris, John E. Kushner, Al Landy, Leo Lapidus, Sophie Lefkove, Morris Lerner, Dorothy Liebman, Sylvia Chip Linder, Bernard Lipsky, Paul Lipsky, Jerome W. Lorber, Harold Jacob Mahler, Rose Marcus, Barbara Margolis Rosenblum, Leonard Miller, Bert Nemroff, Terry Novick, Harry Rabinowitz, Anna Rose Rafkind, Harold A. Rosen, Celie Rosen, Ida Mae Rothschild, Irving Sanders, Ellen Sandra Sapoznik, Evelyn S. Shear, Sarah Schimmel, Norman Schulman, Max Schwartz, Betty Shepard, Robert Shohet, Anna Siegel, Louis A. Siegel, Harold Silverman, Joseph M. Solomon, Jack Solomon, Irving A. Steinberg, Susie Strauss Jacobs, Anna B. Sussman, Abraham Sussman, Lester Tabb, Pauline Trattler, Dorothy Wald, Len Weingarten, Marcia Serlin Wishnack, Jack Zemet, Patty McBride Herbert, Ernestine Hyams, Germaine. Is there anyone else remembering a loved one tonight? Les? Thank you. Sarah, yep. Marcella Manash. We rise as one community and turn to page 294 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah B'yalma Divra Chirote V'yamlich Machute B'chayechon Uvyomechon Uvchaye D'chol Beit Yisrael V'agala Uvizman Kori V'yamru Amen. Yehe Shmei Rabbah Mivarach La'olam Olamei Omaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yitalev V'yitalal Shemei T'kudusha B'rechu La'ela Min Kol Berchata V'shirata Tushbachata V'nechamata Da'amiran B'yalma V'yimru Amen. Yehe Shalom Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. May the one who sends peace to the high heavens let peace come to us and comfort all who are bereaved among us. Together we say, Amen. You may be seated. I invite for some Shabbat greetings our Executive Vice President, Shelley Jacoby. Thank you, my friend.
To our musical team, Netanel, wow. Billy, wow. Cantacoil, thank you so much. Netanel. Rabbi Kleppy, thank you for your beautiful words. I have some very good news for you, and many of you already know, but our longtime employee, Sharon Levy, who has been there for Temple Beth Am for 19 years, has been promoted to our new executive director. He was most recently our chief operating officer, and he already started to get us on a good path, but now we look forward to a lot more from him in the future. Sharon has kept this campus safe and secure for all these 19 years, and I promise you that he will continue to make that a priority. I encourage you to get to know him. He is a good man who really cares deeply for this temple and has stepped up more times than I can count through the years, which has added to his understanding of the needs and the operation of our temple Beth Am. So he's actually taken a few very well-deserved days of vacation. But when he comes back, if you see him on campus, introduce yourself, get to know him. It's worth your time. So thank you. Thank you. So it's really hard to believe how fast summer is going. I don't know about the rest of you, but I feel we're sort of in the calm before the storm, because in a few weeks, this campus is going to be abuzz with students running all over, a record number of kids in our school, and it's going to be amazing. While there's no more room for volunteers any longer, our Tikkun Olam committee is helping other kids who are in need to fill their backpacks so that they can go back to school with all the tools that they need. So I want to thank Voices for Children, who gave us this opportunity to perform this mitzvah, and to Beth Am for stepping up, as we always do, for those who are in need. So, Kol HaKavod. And then before we know it, it's Elul and then the high holidays. We're preparing on all levels for an incredible year ahead. Speaking of which, please, if you haven't done so already, remember to sign up. Your membership needs to be renewed. And if you haven't already done so and you want to put someone's name in the book of remembrance, I am told that August 10th, hard stop. So please get it in by then. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Thank you, Shelley. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom, Shelley. Thank you. And one more announcement. So tomorrow for Minyan, Jessica Bass, our cantoral soloist, and Billy and I guess Deanna in tomorrow, we have some beautiful music that is perfect for Shabbat Nachamu, and a special discussion on a modern Israeli poem, which has become the song for the protests. We'll have a discussion about that. And that's at 10:30 with Torah study at 9. So we are closing up our service with a beautiful, I'm guessing, Oseh Shalom?
Another Oseh Shalom.
Another Oseh Shalom.
But not the traditional one. Sorry, next
Why don't
week.
everybody rise if you can and get some energy in.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום